Hi, I'm Dave Wurzel, and you're watching PHTV4 Spotlight. Today's Spotlight, the Polar Plunge with the Palos Police Department. And with me today, very fortunate on my left, to have Police Chief Bill Tchaikovsky. On my right, Police Officer Kevin Apostle, who's going to be taking the plunge again in a little bit here, and we're looking forward to that.
Absolutely.
But before we get into the plunge, and we'll get some good video of that, Chief, can you talk to us a little about, like, what is the Polar Plunge? How long has it been going on, and the background on it?
Thanks, Dave. Well, first of all, thanks for coming out on this beautiful day. Typically, these days are much colder and much icier, but the Polar Plunge is the largest fundraiser for the Illinois Special Olympics. Our department participates in the Polar Plunge, the torch run, and the cop on a rooftop. So this kind of kicks off our fundraising efforts for the Special Olympics. And it's important because Special Olympics is for athletes with intellectual disabilities. So this fundraising effort allows us to raise money for these athletes so they can compete on a nationwide effort in downstate Illinois later in June this year.
So what a great cause, an important cause, and obviously it's providing an opportunity for athletes, young people to compete in a special Olympic type experience, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Kevin, can you tell us who participates in the Polar Plunge? And obviously you're one of them.
Sure.
And how long have you guys been doing this?
So I can say since I've been here, it's been about 12, 13 years that we've been doing the plunge. And the plunge is open to anybody that works for the police department. But if there's somebody in the community that would like to come by and take a dip in the pool and fundraise, they're welcome as well. So overall, it's a community event.
I like the way you're baiting people into it. Hey, anybody wants to take a dip, it's an option, right?
Doors, absolutely.
Yeah. My wife asked me, she's like, are you going to take the plunge? I'm like, oh my God, no.
Well, it's never too late.
And then, I was going to say, then it sounded like a bad attitude, like maybe I should be plunging, And I guess that kind of, maybe that's the lead into the other thing, and you hinted at this or kind of touched on this a little bit already, Chief, the motivation, the inspiration, like why is this thing so important? And obviously to support the Special Olympics, but the police department's participating in it, and I imagine organizations all over the state. Why for you or this community?
Well, I have a personal interest in it. I have a very dear friend, his name's Brian Mathis, who suffers from intellectual disability. And I know how difficult it was throughout his life growing up and, having things to do for people like Brian. So this gives an opportunity for people with intellectual disabilities to kind of showcase themselves, build self-confidence, build team building, and it gives them unbelievable happiness when they participate in these games. So it's really something to see, and Brian was here earlier and he was just elated by everything that was going on. So that's kind of my personal reason I do it. Kevin and I have been doing this for years together. I'm not a plunger, but I'm a runner. So unfortunately, I bowed out on a plunge today. But many of the men and women from the department have done it today, and I think it's just great that they've done it and given up their time to do something is good for the community and for the Special Olympics.
It certainly is. You're talking about seeing the reaction on the person's face to be able to compete. Have that opportunity, and not always. And this helps make that possibility for them, right? Kevin, and I want to speak to, the motivation, inspiration for doing this, like Palos Heights Police Department participate in this, and I know you guys do other charitable things. I mean, why is it important for you or the police department to do things like this?
Sure. So for me, years ago, I was involved with the program through a couple of the other officers. And since I went down to one of the conferences that they had, I've made connections with the athletes, their families, and other officers that do this. It's just a huge bond and connection that we have with them, and I can't say any better than the chief. Because of that, I've learned how important it is for those families and those athletes, and I'd be a fool not to say, in a selfish way, it really it brought something new to me that it's hard to explain. It's one of the best things I've done in my career. I just love it.
Yeah, listen, and the way Bill put, the police chief Tchaikovsky put it, when you see it in the face of a person who is part of celebrating the thing, right, or benefited from it in some way, it does become fulfilling in that way, right? So saying that, you're raising money. Let's say people missed this event to donate now or prior to it. Can they still donate? And if they can, how would they do that?
They can, and the easiest way that I can think of is our Facebook page. We'll put another post up with the link to the Plunge page. they could do it that way. Even after that time period, I forget where it is, where the plunge ends, we're always taking donations for Special Olympics. We also have a lot of items such as the shirt I'm wearing right now, hats, pins, challenge coins, so all sorts of good things.
All right. So a great opportunity to support Special Olympics and obviously contribute to an incredibly worthwhile cause. So you mentioned, and you said earlier, so I kind of want to touch on that now. Palos Heights Police Department participates in other charitable activities.
Yes.
Can you tell us what some of those are and what's coming up?
Yeah, I jotted down a few dates, Dave. The Cop on the Rooftop is May 17th, so that's also in conjunction with our local Dunkin' Donuts, where the officers are on the rooftop of the Dunkin' Donuts and people make charitable donations. And we also sell our law enforcement torch run memorabilia there. We have our annual torch run, which is Wednesday, June 5th. So we start, our leg of the torch run is about 13 miles, and many of us on the department run the entire run. So that's personal to me. I think, that's a small sacrifice I can make for all these families that are part of Special Olympics. So that's my forte, where I do the run with many people from the department. My wife and her friends, they're marathon runners, they also jump in. So that's a really good cause. So we run from 83 in Harlem to I-80 in LaGrange.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's a really nice thing, and we get a lot of support from the community. We get a lot of support from the motorists as we pass through, carrying the American flag and a torch. So it's really something to see.
It sounds like not just a great day, and obviously a wonderful thing to do for somebody, but visually, what a great experience too.
Yeah, I mean, it gives you chills. It really does. And then finally, that weekend are the Special Olympic Games down at ISU this year, right, Kev?
Yes.
Illinois State University in Bloomington. So that's where the games, that's where the torch ends up, and that's where the games are played for the Special Olympians. And then with that, that's pretty much with the Special Olympics. And then we kind of segue into our National Night Out.
Okay, right. National Night Out is in August, I believe.
It is the first Tuesday in August.
Okay, so another event to look for. And I'm sure they can check this stuff on your Facebook
Yes.
page. Okay. Chief Tchaikovsky, Officer Apostle, thank you guys very much. Obviously, you're doing wonderful work here. On behalf of the community, thank you. I mean, what a great thing for the police department and for what you guys do for Illinois Special Olympics.
Well, thanks. I just want to mention one more thing. Thanks to Kevin and the rest of the team here, we raised about $27,000 last year, right, Kev? So our name is on the 2023 shirt. We're number 35, I think, out of top 50. Yeah, so that's very impressive. These are departments throughout the state of Illinois, and we're a grassroots effort. We don't have like a major corporate sponsor. This is people from our community, businesses from our community, friends from our community. So it's really amazing that we're able to raise this kind of money for a small community. It's really a grassroots effort.
I say it really is when you think about Palos Heights' population. So thank you to the community, thank you to the officers and the police department. Wonderful. And still an opportunity to donate if they want.
Still an
right?
opportunity.
Okay.
The whole year.
All right. Well, thank you very much. Let's check out a plunge coming up real soon here, right? All right. I'm Dave Wurzel, and you've been watching PHTV4 Spotlight. Today's Spotlight has been on the Polar Plunge with the Palos Heights Police Department. Thank you for watching. The water's heated, right? All right, we've got the whole crew of plungers here. Let's meet them all real quick.
I'm Joe. I'm loosely affiliated.
I'm Officer Paul Mikolajczyk.
I'm Noah, and my dad's a agent.
I'm Officer Casey. Officer Tony Delaney.
Kevin Apostle.
Natalie.
Bill Moritz, police officer at Palos Heights.
Officer Pomper.
All right, so thank you very much, plungers. That was awesome. I tested the water. It was cold. It was cold, a little bit. All right, well, thank you very much for doing the fundraising. Thank you for doing the plunge. How about what would you recommend for people out there?
Take the plunge!